Alright, I'm not going to lie to you. This episode is going to be a little bit different than what you've seen on this channel previously. So, buckle up, get a water or juice or something, get a snack, get your dinner out, okay? Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a variety on our broadcast this evening. I know we're several weeks behind schedule. Life happens, okay? I work a 9 to 5, alright? It's actually more of like a 5 to 5, okay? But it's my pleasure to deliver to you the following segments. So, fuck you, and yeah, just roll it.
Good enough for them. They should have.
Alright, enough critical. It's time to lock in, okay? So I made this beat. I was inspired by the Backrooms music, and I was trying to make a Backrooms type beat. Oh, let me close the door. It's also a beautiful windy day here in the countryside, so if you're hearing wind in the background, I have the window open, okay? Forgive me. Alright, it might even add to the amp. You might even learn to appreciate it, like I do. The only thing I'm not sure if I like is this, like... That's like what the synth is. I just took like one instance of that and made this. Is this, which Bears Aren't Real is a song I made the other day. It's like barely can call it a song. It's like kind of more of a loop. Let me disable these effects here. I actually used this to make a couple of beats, but this one, it goes like this. Oh, no it doesn't. Here we go. This is still slowed down a bit, but it's just a little guitar clip, lots of like noise and shit. Doing a lot of... Let's actually just like crop that back out. Atmospheric, spacey, there's even like a reverb send that everything is going through. So it gives us this nice, atmosphere. I don't know, it's not that nice. I'm not like super into this beat, but this is also a guitar, this Regut one here. Just lots of delays, and one of my favorite things to do that's kind of giving it that weird like off-tune effect. I just changed this time like function on the bottom of just the standard stock default Ableton delay, and just like listen when I turn this up even more. You'll notice it. Like first, let me actually put it to 0. We're still getting that delay, but it doesn't have the same character. Versus when I put this up like 100, like just hear it. Whoa! Sounds like I'm stumbling out of the fucking Drunken Clam. So I forget where I had it, but like somewhere like right there just gives us a nice kind of like off-key, spooky atmosphere. And then we can take this whole thing, speed it up, and get a nice beat. But you guys got fucking pranked, because that's not actually even the beat I want to show off today. That would be this one. So this is the real beat I want to show off. So far, I've only got the sample. So I just like kind of have this basic MIDI pattern. It's just all on the beat. But it's like chopped instead of like resampled of just the one. I'm using the same sends as the previous beat, like because this one, I actually went back in time to make this beat. It's pretty complicated. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah. So we have this. Oh, you notice that? See how it doesn't play on that first one? It's just because it's like, if you're watching this and you don't know this, you're watching the wrong channel, man. I'm just here to give you an interesting, entertaining thing to fucking have in the background while you, like, I don't know. Just had to settle the score there real quick. Now we'll hear it because it was just, it was off the grid. It was out in the woods. But now that it's past this line right here, like, it's very subtle, but if it's, like, playing before that line, it won't play, it won't trigger, but if we put it right on the beginning, it will. So I have that problem all the time. It's literally in the album Ghosts I just put out. It's an album. It's not my best work, but I'm quite proud of it. It's gone through a couple adjustments. The mix was not right the first time. I could make a whole segment about that, but right now I'm talking about this because my favorite song on the album, Ribosome, had this problem when the bass at the end, if you listen to the song, you'll understand what it is, because on the downbeat on one of the best part, like the ending like loop where it like goes into this B section and like lingers there, the bass keeps misfiring, like not hitting on beat 1, so you just get this like doo doo. How's the song go? It's like doo 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 doo. Like it just like skips beat 1, and like it sounds cool, and I'm gonna act like it was intentional, but it is an accident because of this exact problem. But I took that Bears Isn't Real and like kind of made it into this like, you can like, this is really lingering on like one note. So if you're making a beat like this, oh, looks like I already did it. Look at that, guys. The whole time travel thing is kind of confusing. But if you take this, I just EQ'd out everything except what's below 216 and boosted that, and then just put the stock tuner in, and look at that, E flat. We want to kind of expand it to more sections. So if I just spawn in some more sections there, all that really does is I just took this loop and then it only goes to these 2 different ones every now and then. So instead of that same like thing, we're lingering on this for a while, and then kind of unexpectedly it goes to this like other chop. It's really clear if we look at it down here. Just kind of made that go for a while. And I also want to spawn in some like B sections, so this is just entirely different chops. It also kind of feels like it doesn't feel like, it's hurting me a little bit. If you could see I'm like the turn around, put your hands behind your back, turn around, put your hands. I'm doing that kind of motion right now because it's cringing, because it's not like hitting on doesn't have the same pulse as this does. All it does is just drone on to have this little B section, drone on, and then it just plays the sample at the end to demonstrate to the listener.
Oh wow, that was just made out of this. That's crazy, man. How did you do that? That's pretty impressive, man. I can't believe you did that.
Let me make sure OBS is going. Alright, it just would have been really embarrassing to have to do that again. This is definitely not like the 3rd time I'm attempting to make this fucking segment. So next I spawned in some drums because we're gonna need those. The way that this beat is like kind of coming together, this isn't gonna be one that flows without the drums. Too much, we need to establish a pulse. So I just took this recording of me playing drums in a basement and like, gave it this nice like crunchy feeling with this erosion. This is what I started with. It's this little clip of this like long recording of me playing drums in my old apartment's basement. Very like fucking goblin infested spider sanctuary of a basement. But it had this nice kind of like sound profile to it. I use this for like every song I make. So if you're annoyed by this like weird like echo that's kind of making its way into the pattern, fuck yourself, because I think it sounds cool. Each one of these is like has a built-in reverb, which gives you a very unique character to start with. But it sounds like dog water, because like just listen to this. It's not. This is actually what I started with. But it's not bad. The foundation is there. It's hitting all the right frequencies. Like if we look at the spectrum, like we are getting some nice clear low notes. Like I don't know if I did it this time, but at some point I transposed this up 3. So this you're actually not even gonna get to hear the original clip, because they'll probably steal it. People are nothing but thieves these days. Wanted you to experience the difference of what 11 fucking years of Ableton using only the same 2 channel EQ and channel 3 fucking no plugins. I think I'm about due for like a Fab EQ plugin. So I just like selected certain frequencies, cut other ones that I wanted, and now I think it helps emphasize what's already going on instead of kind of distracting you and being like, oh, that drums was clearly added. Like, it doesn't immediately call it out as like a bedroom pop song. It makes it more of like a lost internet song. So the next thing we're gonna need, oh, sorry, I gotta travel back in time here. Sorry. There's sometimes the, ooh, whoa, too far! Too far! Too far! Alright, you guys got a little fucking sneak peek. You weren't supposed to hear that yet, but that was like a time dilation. Einstein would have been, Einstein would have loved this beat. On Mac OS, undo didn't apply to these for some fucking reason. So when you pull your sample apart like this, I wouldn't be able to get it back. So I wouldn't do that. But where we upgraded, I've invested in this channel. I don't know if you know that. Put a lot of fucking hard work into this video. This video's gonna be like 2 hours long, okay? If you're still watching by this point, this might even be the beginning, actually. So welcome. I won't have this attitude the whole time, but It's this recording of the bass. It's just me hitting like an E or like whatever, and I tuned it to a C so I could play it on the MIDI. And I added the same erosion as I did on the drums because that's like a cheap way to make them blend when they're not even like sonically similar at all. Like if we take all of this and mute that, take the erosion out, just listen to the difference that the erosion makes. It makes it sound like you're recording it on like a digital camera from like 2009. When you don't have the erosion, maybe some of you are like, dude, don't add it back, it sounds so clean now. Well, you should make your own beat then, because I think that the crunchiness makes it all united. Now it feels like we're together, but we're gonna need more. These drums aren't really, like if we look at our master, there's not enough action happening in this low section here that's like really punching the ears of the listener and making them pay attention, because some of the other music I displayed in a segment actually later in this video, this is not the case. People are not afraid to just fucking explode the speakers of the listener, but me, I like to give them a nice controlled fucking. So I add this 808, another just default Ableton instrument, this 808 core kit. It's like a plane going overhead. And you can just hear everything going on here. I actually, for this, when I was originally, or back in the other timeline that this is like being extracted from, I recorded through this whole thing just with the plus, like these two symbols up here clicked, and that basically just allows me to do that, like record over myself without it like deleting, and also record automation, and just recorded like a whole bunch of these like instruments. So there's like, that's where you get that like weird, it's kind of like gay, but I think it sets up your expectations for the beat to be ass, and then when it becomes as atmospheric as it is, it kind of like you didn't expect that, I guess. But you can see there's like, okay, like 4 things happening, but to me that's a lot. Normally I use like 2 drums. Like this, my garage drums is just like the same kick and snare the entire song. So all these little like maracas and like clicking kind of helps the beat come to life as it loops over and over. And if you haven't noticed, the kick drum is just actually going to town on your ears. And I like did some fucking with it. I added the same erosion. You can actually see in real time here, the erosions are dancing around and changing, and that just adds this sonic character. Like you hear the crunching come in every now and then. It emphasizes certain moments. It makes the entire beat bounce more. I'd totally recommend you doing this on all of your songs. I don't even do it on all my songs, bro. I'm the photo of Green Goblin talking to Spider-Man, like the advice I'm giving my bro and not even living myself. But I did it this once, and it is dope. They're just like, you hear it. That like weird, like annoying frequency comes in every now and then the crunching comes in. And when you take this with the rest of the beat, now let's look back at our master. Oh, very nice. You see that? You can see it coming into us now. Repetitive part to a different part and then going back to that repetitive part. That's like the only way I know how to make people care about the song. Maybe that's not, this is not a tutorial. This might be a bad method for making a song. I just want to make that clear. If you're following this, I'm not responsible for you making a shitty song. We're going to definitely need more elements too. If I want to outlast you, if I want to make something more interesting than you, I'm going to add this as well, which is just the same guitar recording, but I'm using it as a synth. And we get these like kind of interesting little delay like nuggets that just fly out. Like there was one just now, and I think that this adds a lot of atmosphere. If I had a webcam, you'd see me dancing and moving. You're just gonna have to take my word for it though. But it still feels like it's not enough. So as you see, another dilation just like spawned in this. And this is just purely like, if you ever listen to Memo Boy at all, that's what I'm going for with this. It's the banjo sound. Oh, but it's like wavering and it's phasing, and it just comes into the beat at a certain moment. It just like makes you like, ooh. It makes you feel like you're kind of like want to dance, but also like smoke crack or something. Maybe not that, like, but that's pretty much our beat. Only thing I did after that was add some vocals. I honestly don't like them.
And that in the goodness of time, and love.
I think he's spitting facts a little bit. If you have a highway in your city and it's destroyed an entire neighborhood, it was probably because that dude fucking approved it. I'm not saying it's good or bad, I'm just saying it's interesting, okay? So yeah, I like to put those clips on the song, and then as you heard there, I got some like cringe-ass like demo rapping. I'm just mumbling, but if you're a rapper, like, perform something actually good in this style, in this production. One's like kind of good. I swear I'm a singer, guys. Like, that one's not so bad. Like, it gives the idea of like the melody I kind of want. Like, kind of like a melancholic, like just moaning on the track. But if you're a vocalist, I am one actually. I'm in a band and I'm a vocalist in that band. For whatever reason, when I come to Two Box, I just like, I don't know, he's kind of intimidating and it makes it hard to get on his beats because like, you know. But that's our time traveling beat. This is what I want to show you guys. So this is the drop, and when it comes in, just notice how the drums aren't there anymore, but you still feel it. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I kind of just want to show you some interesting channels that I know about, and I'm going to start with this one, Chippendale, and this guy, he's called Black Puss. He makes these insane videos, and pardon my internet, it just fucking sucks recently, but he makes these insane videos of him drumming, and, wait, he posted that? I've been seeing this recommended, anyways, and I haven't actually watched this one yet, the Commotion, but I've seen a lot of these other ones. This guy is nuts. And if you don't know about this, you should, because this guy's fucking nuts. So I'm gonna show you a second of this, and I'm not gonna show the whole thing, so you can go fucking find it yourself. Maybe I'll put the link in the description. This is, like, what? Like, he's insane. I've been watching him for like about almost a year now. This guy is just fucking crazy. These songs go insane. They're super unique, crazy music videos. This guy is so sick. This is I think the first song I saw from him 8 months ago. He's kind of been doing the same shit the whole time. I don't know, something about seeing this dude dance in these abandoned buildings with all this graffiti, it just makes me feel like I'm missing out on something I didn't even know that was happening. This is wild, man. Like, I am part of a very small sect, and so are you now, that has seen this. I'm just gonna say, keep scaring me. I've been there. You can get a lot of interesting recordings by just chucking a mic in the window and letting it go for like an hour. Okay, they can't all be bangers. We are the Jumping Lumps. Read description. Okay, perfect.
Jumping lumps, we are the jumping lumps.
So yeah, I think that's a good place to end it.
I mean, I know it's the second night, but your jibs, he's on it, man.
He wants my jibs so badly, dude.
I wouldn't.
What's stopping me from just closing it every time?
They just walked away. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Do you think they were there then? There's something big right there, bro. I'm scared. I knew it, dude. I knew it. So what should I do in that situation? Oh.
Oh my god.
So should I have checked the left before I looked behind me? Good. Check left. Yes! 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 Oh, that feels so good. I get now why Markiplier was so excited. Like, I don't know if that was long enough. Fuck you! I was doing so good!
Okay, I'm just gonna tell a story from memory here, for lack of anything else being written right now. I am working on a few like short stories and ideas and stuff, but as you can see, this episode has been kind of more of a variety. Next time, maybe I'll get back to my roots a little bit with storytelling. I did record like a whole other like ghost real haunt section. I had a lot planned for this video, but enough lollygagging. All right, I'm just gonna get into this nice recounting of a nice beach campfire spooky one that still. I sometimes still have trouble going to the beach after thinking about this. So,
it takes place over one summer a couple of years ago when me and my friends would have fires on the beach almost every night. Maybe it was during the pandemic because we were pretty much available all the time. Almost every single night we would have fires on the beach. We may have been younger than the pandemic though. I don't remember exactly. But at the end of his street, there was this private beach that anyone who lived on the street was kind of allowed to use. There was lots of rental properties, and we were never really sure who owned them or who was staying in them, but we would always like just camp out on the beach in front of them. And over the years that we did this, no one ever really gave us much trouble at all about it, until this one summer where it was a couple of things that we didn't really piece together until looking back at it.
So I guess I'll just start, you guys, where it starts for me.
There was one night we were out particularly late, drinking and smoking on the sand. The fire was starting to die out, so our eyes were adjusting to the moonlight. And I noticed way out on the water there was something bobbing. Like, it looked like a head almost, like a diver was just sitting right below the water and staring at us. Just a log probably just bobbing out there on the water, and we all became kind of enamored with it, and we even went on a little late night dip to try to go swim out to it. But once we got in the water, we realized just how far out it was, that we would never...
I don't know if you ever swam out on the Great Lakes, but you do not want to go out too far. It gets real creepy real quick. Not like the ocean, like that's way scarier, but I don't know. It's fucked. It's fucked. I do not like it. One time, I swam down to the bottom really far out, and I just started feeling seaweed all over me, and then ugh. Anyways.
We became kind of enamored with this bobber because every time after that one, when we went back, it was out there. It wasn't always out there during the day. We didn't always see it, but just about every night we would notice it bobbing out there on the lake, just the same distance, not affected by the current at all, just bobbing. And, you know, I've heard of Old Man on the Lake, which is out in Crater Lake in Oregon. It's just this big-ass, like, ancient log that just floats in the lake, like, straight up. So I know that there's things like that, and we see driftwood all the time, but this one really, we tried, like, zooming in on it with digital cameras, but it was no good. Like, it was just too dark for any digital device to be able to help us see it. And one night we're looking out at it and we see, I shit you not, a fucking like UFO out in the water. It just is like this long shape with like LED lights on it. And it starts coming closer into shore and towards us, like almost along the beach too. And we were like, yo, what the fuck? Because it was a boat. It was this like canoe shaped boat, and it just came up. It had wheels on it. This strange old man just got up off of it, wheeled it up next to us, sat it down, and then walked through like the blade grass on a little path up to one of the like properties up there, and didn't say a word to us. We saw his like UFO out there maybe one or two other nights that summer, but the way he had the lights rigged along the edge of his canoe, and the way he would only go out on the really calm nights and just paddle real slowly, it was something that was just so odd and unsettling about that. And oh yeah, so one night, this was pretty early on to us like smoking. Like, I had only been high a few times in my life, so we smoked and I had just lost my mind this one night. And I remember we were all laying with our backs on the sand just listening, and we were like, we could hear dogs barking in the neighborhood, but I swear they were harmonizing. Like, it was odd, man. Like, they were like linking up and harmonizing, and it was freaking us out so much. Just the echo over the lake and over the whole valley was just this weird harmonizing dog barking, and it freaked us the fuck out. We went up early that night and we like didn't smoke for a minute after that. It was freaky, dude. And I remembered several nights after that kind of wanting to bring that like little magic back, so we were laying on the beach really listening for sound, but it was completely silent. I don't know where these dogs, maybe they were just like people renting, had dogs just this once, but this time we just heard this low like rumbling, and we couldn't really tell if it's something that was always there or just because we were listening for it that night and it was so quiet. No cicadas, birds, other wildlife, anything this night. We just heard this rumbling. Just sounded like a washing machine or a dryer, just perpetually all night. We only stopped hearing it when we stopped noticing it, but if you called out that it was there, everyone would remember it and start hearing it again. And I think we heard that every night for the rest of that summer. I can't recall though, it's just so quiet in my mind, but I can remember the feeling it gave me, just that little rumbling. And you only noticed it when there's absolutely nothing else. And so one night, it was the 4th of July, and this is maybe our like 30th fire that summer already. And the beach was especially crowded because it was the 4th of July. And we decided to use this opportunity to get up to some shenanigans that we didn't normally, because there it was, we saw the bobber out on the lake again. This was like a little earlier than it normally appeared, right about like sundown. Like the fireworks show was getting ready to happen in like maybe 10 minutes. Like the sun had just gone down. It was beautiful twilight, hundreds of people packing the beach, like many, many fires. We were not the only people this time, even though normally it was just no one but us. And we see up in the window of one of the rentals, because we kind of we were at a different spot than we normally are, so we had kind of a different vantage, and we saw there was a telescope in one of the windows. And we just immediately thought, like, oh, yes, if we get that thing, 1, for the fireworks show will be awesome, and 2, we can look out and see what the bobber is, like, up close. We can just see what it looks like. We were, like, maybe 15 at the oldest. Like, we had just that kind of idea. We're like, oh, we could see it. And we knew with all the commotion of the 4th of July, it looked like there was a party happening in that house as well, whoever was renting it that time. So we knew we'd easily be able to sneak in just by the volume of people that were there. But once we got up there, we realized that it split up into multiple units, like maybe only partial floors were being rented, because whichever floor had the telescope on it, we didn't seem to be able to like get into. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We went up to the property, we're creeping around, there's all kinds of like pong tables and drunk people everywhere, and like we're just looking like we belong. There's other kids there, you know, but it's like a duplex type building, and to get to the one door was like wide open, and we were kind of felt weird about going in, but we could see like people in there. People were filing in and out. No one was really saying anything to us, just kind of awkwardly standing in the yard, like in our swim trunks and stuff. And we decided to go through this rock garden to the other side, and it's all kinds of crazy smooth rocks, like neat looking rocks that look like they had been like smoothed out and collected, because they resembled a lot of the rocks on the beach, but not like, none of them looked that smooth. Like sometimes you'd find one that's been in the water a long time, but these were like polished. Whoever owned the property really liked rocks, I'll tell you that. There was like even this white one that was like the color of bone almost. It had this like white yellowish tint, and it was like vaguely shaped like a skull, kind of like. And I just remember we stopped to look at that because there was a few of them, and that we meant to be like, oh, we should look that up when we get back, but we never did. Maybe I should look that up now. This like, it just kind of looked like a little ornament, and it had been smooth and polished, like, and placed very decadently, and all of the rocks were on this nice incline. There was a little path that we were like stepping on going up, made of like slate, but there's just all these smooth rocks, and we thought it was pretty cool, but we didn't really have too much time to stick around because we were in this for the telescope. We wanted to look out at the lake, and this was a common thing. I know that seems weird, but you know, at night the stars are amazing, like all kinds of, I'm sure there's lots of like good stargazing like places at these rentals. Knowing rich people, they got these fucking expensive telescopes and stuff. I remember my dad always had a pair of binoculars up by the window at his to like look out at boats and stuff. And we try this door to the other side of the duplex, and it's open, which we didn't really think about at the time how weird that is, because in theory, like, only the other one was being rented out and being partied in, and this one was not. Like, all the lights were off, but the telescope was up in like that nice like lookout window of this one. So we're creeping through, all the lights are off, we don't see anyone, but we hear the tumbling again coming from the basement. And it's just like it sounded like this person had like 6 washing machines down there just tumbling, and it really fucking smelled in this apartment too, and like not like a smell I can describe, like kind of like shit, but like more like roadkill. I don't know, but not really like that. It smelled like, I don't know, like maybe he left his bananas out too long or something, I don't know. But anyways, we made our way upstairs. It was kind of a smaller place. Like, this seemed like the smaller of the 2 units. This maybe was like the maintenance workers like unit, and the other one was like where most of the renters stay or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since we've been in there. So we go upstairs and we find the telescope room, and we're still being real cautious. Like the floor, we're hearing every creak, waiting for someone to like walk out and be like, hey, what the hell are you doing in here? But we had one mission and one mission only, and about this time fireworks started going off on the beach, so we figured we were good. Like, any adult is gonna be down on the beach right now looking at the fireworks and stuff. And the thing that makes me feel the weirdest about this whole thing is because you could tell that no one had really been in this apartment, or at least this telescope room, for at least that day, maybe a few days. There was like dust on the telescope, but not a ton of dust. Like, you could see where fingerprints had been. Like, it was definitely used recently, but like not within the last like day or two, especially in these like sandy beach houses. Like, dust really builds up quick. I say all of this because we went up to the telescope. We didn't really pay much attention to the way it was oriented. And we put our, we looked through it, and we were like, hey, that's our spot. That's like our fire pit. It was like, you could see it was pointed right at where we normally had our fires. And we, moved it a little bit out, looked at the bobber. It was just a log. That's all. It looked like a log floating there. It must have been fastened to the bottom. Maybe it was stuck there. Maybe it's like a tree. Maybe it's like a buoy for a boat. And yeah, I just thinking about that, it kind of, something just, it doesn't really feel right. But we left, no problem, closed the door, and we continued to have beach fires every night. But I remember a few weeks after that, talking and telling that story to our one brother who wasn't there. And while we were saying that, I looked back, and you could see the telescope right from our spot. It was like a little bit, it wasn't really a place you'd ever think to look. It was the perfect angle right through the trees. And if you see something bobbing out on the lake,
don't go after it, man. Fucking creepy, bro. It's gonna put me in the tumbler. Alright. That's my story. Thank you for listening. Thank you for getting this far in the video. I still got a little bit of Sasquatch in this next segment for you, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. But before, while I got you here, I just want to say thank you again for watching. I will be making another one of these. I've got one in the works. I'm working on some more segments. So let me know if you like this segmented style, like variety, or sticking to one thing, make these all separate videos. Looking for that kind of feedback as I'm figuring this out. So appreciate you listening as always. I'm going to go watch Backrooms at the drive-in, I think. This has been a pleasure, though. I really appreciate you guys. All the music is by me, by 2Box. This is an ad now. All the music by 2Box. I just put out an album, Ghosts. I've got another album, Stare Into Static, coming out July 1st, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Really, really happy with that one. Really proud of that one. I'll put a little clip here. Alright, that's all you get. That's all you get. Check it out on July 1st, and yeah, come back to the Bones channel anytime you're feeling a little down. And I've got some spookiness, some goofiness, and some all-around YouTubiness for you. Alright, thank you. Okay. Daylight sighting by motorist along Wind River Highway 6 miles north of Carson. Okay, this happened on a Friday in the spring. This was just a few weeks ago. Okay? I was driving in the Gifford Okay, already, bro. I was driving in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest on Wind River Road, approximately 1 to 2 miles south of Hemlock Road, north of Carson. I noticed debris falling from the bank of the road and a large boulder in the ditch. I looked up the embankment to see what may have caused it. I was traveling about 50 miles per hour, so the viewing was brief. I saw a reddish-brown furry figure standing on the edge of the embankment. The terrain up behind it was heavily forested. Because I was driving, it's hard to say the height, and I did not see a face. It may have had its back to me, but it was standing upright and definitely not human or a bear. My original instinct was that the boulder had been pushed down the embankment. I was by myself, and there was someone jogging down the road about 100 feet south of where I saw it. They're done. That person definitely did not survive. You're telling me they were playing fucking Donkey Kong Classic with a Sasquatch on the side of this highway? They did not survive. Okay, time and condition around noon, 65 degrees and clear. Okay. All right. Okay, I see what's going on here. We have another follow-up investigation report by BFRO investigator Matthew Moneymaker. and we just have to read this. I know I shit on the guy a little in the last episode, but he did, you know what? I grew up on Finding Bigfoot. This guy is kind of a personal hero, okay? So, I'm very enthusiastic to read this follow-up investigation. I know that everybody following this channel loves to get the updates from your boy Moneymaker. That's nothing else. That's what you click on, that's what you're watching this video for. So, let's just get straight into it.
I spoke with witness Gail Kay. She's an excellent, credible witness, and the story turned out to be more interesting than what she wrote. She lives in Toledo, Washington, 70 years old. She worked for the state of Washington for 21 years in Department of Health. She's been driving all over the Cascades for decades. She sees big wild animals like elk every day. She says this was definitely not an elk or bear or human. It looked like a Sasquatch. She thinks it may have been juvenile because it was not super tall and massive. It was around the size of a human. The fur color light brown but slightly more orange than tree bark brown. She was roughly 40 feet away at closest view. Gail was driving south on Wind River Highway.
This is prime Squatch country, though, I will say that. And you know, as silly as all of this is, let me be real for a second, it actually does warm my heart to see that there is still activity on this website. And Matt Moneymaker still goes out of his way to go to these places and investigate. As goofy as I may think it is, you know, the belief in Squatch is really more of a belief in the antiquity and novelty of what we humans do with our free time in the woods. And I think that's beautiful, okay? That's why I'm sitting here fucking reading this story, waiting for Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies 3 to finish downloading, okay? Let's continue.
Okay. She is saying the sighting happened 1 to 2 miles south of that intersection. We have not yet figured out the GPS coordinates of the incident, but there may be a simple way to figure that out if you live in the area. There's a 20-foot embankment along the side of the highway where it occurred. The trees are close to the edge of the embankment. The Sasquatch was standing on the edge of the embankment on the left side beside the trees near the top. She was paying attention to the road ahead as she approached because she saw a jogger up ahead, jogging down the side of the highway. On the embankment, she saw rocks and dust coming down as if there had been a small rock slide. Right below that dust and rock flow, a sizable boulder was resting on the side of the edge of the highway. Yes, we know this. As if it had just fallen down there. It was partly on the road, but not so much that cars would not be easily able to drive around it.
Interesting. That is interesting. The boulder was knocked by a fucking rogue Bigfoot.
The jogger was jogging south along the highway, away from the point of the small rock slide. The jogger would have just passed it shortly before. The rock slide could not have happened after... Right.
Wait.
Oh my God, Matt. I mean, why am I your proofreader here, Matt? Okay? This is a serious investigation.
The rock slide could not have happened right after the jogger passed that point, but the jogger didn't seem to notice, or at least not to care. I asked Gail about the jogger. The jogger was a woman with hair in a ponytail. She was petite and wearing pink shorts. Her back was to Gail as Gail approached. She was a redhead.
Is she have Squatch DNA? Is that the implication?
I put the possibility to Gail that maybe the Sasquatch pushed the big rock off the edge of the embankment in response to the jogger woman passing by. Gail said that was entirely possible. Why would that have happened? Was the Sasquatch trying to get the attention of the redhead woman jogger? Was it trying to scare her away? Did it come to the edge of the embankment to get a better view of her as she passed by and then inadvertently dislodged a big rock from the top of the embankment when it came to the edge? This incident happened around noon on Friday, May 8th, 2026. There is a very good chance that the big rock is still there on the edge of the highway, which would indicate where the sighting occurred. There may or may not be Bigfoot tracks on the slope above where the rock slide slid down. That is what can be checked by a local from one of the nearby communities like Carson or Stobler.
This is a call out to the local communities. Get your ass up there and look for Squatch prints right now. What are you waiting for? Here's the maps and everything. This area does look beautiful. I swear, I've been elsewhere along the Wind River. I think I went along the Wind River we drove along the Wind River in Montana. What is this? Spokane River. Oh! It's actually weird how the climate here. This like weird dusty shit, but okay. Where's the Wind River? Is it possible that Niagara, Detroit? They're copying these names, bro. Said it was up here near Seattle. This is Squatch country. There's Carson. Okay, so yeah. That's the Columbia River. I'm thinking there's no way it's the same Wind River. But there's Squatch in these woods.
Let's go back to recent reports. Okay, there's some. We got a swamp ape here. Property owner sees tall, dark creature fleeing through the woods 3 miles north of Westlake. This is April 14th, 2026. I was planting hay bales on the bulkhead that borders my back walkway. I had placed several of them topside, but dropped one and it fell. There was about a 5 to 6 foot drop from the riprap to the swamp. I had walked about 50 yards away to access the lower side from a spot easy to walk down, and I came around a fairly large tree. I saw a very large dark thing standing upright as it took off, crashing through the vines and palmettos. I started going east, which would have brought it to dry land and away from me, but it turned northwest and crossed through the waist-deep water of the canal. It was mostly obscured, going through the water, but I could see enough of it to see that it was walking on 2 legs. I could tell by the sound of the movement of the water that it was on 2 legs. I have lived back here for many years and know the difference between deer and hogs moving in the water. No personal incidents prior to this other than the household pets and yard cats behaving differently a few days prior to the incident. Several neighbors who also have animals in the area also said their animals were behaving strangely, such as outside cats trying to get inside or staying under cover. I personally have a tiny dog that usually tries to run toward the road or cross towards a patch of trees, but lately they both stand on the edge of the yard and at the drop-off and alert, or will simply not get off the driveway and not want to come directly back inside. This happened at 8 p.m. clear weather, and it's mostly a cypress palmetto swamp off canal.
Interesting. Okay, and then of course, we got Matthew Moneymaker. Again, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if there's another Matthew Moneymaker one, I gotta make it. I'm at a pivotal point in my career here. Am I gonna keep reading the Matthew Moneymaker, everything that he posts, or am I gonna move on with my life?
So, just a little warning.
I spoke with this witness by phone. She's very credible, intelligent,
and also he says that every witness is credible. I almost want to read more of his stuff. I
One where he's like, this person's tugging my leg.
She only got a split-second view of this creature when it first began crashing away through the brush. She had a longer view as it crossed the canal. It was partially obscured by brush and branches, but she could see it was dark-furred and much taller than a deer. It was bounding through a waist-deep canal as if it was only shin-deep for this figure. This area has a lot of deer and currently a bounty of ripening wild blackberries all through the area. This report notes something about the advantage of being upright and very tall if you hunt deer by hand. A deer trying to flee through waist-deep water is going to slow down a lot, slow down enough to enable a very tall bipedal primate to run through the water to catch it. Sasquatches in this part of the country are often seen wading through swamps and flooded forests.
Very compelling stuff here, Matt. Okay, moving on. Trying to find one that has maybe a different reporter. Wait, this one's in depth. Wait, now I have to read this one. What is this about a security camera? They may have seen something. Okay, I'm gonna read this one. If one more story.
From 2 workers on 3rd shift at the Tabler Station Industrial Plant have a sighting from a railroad bed behind the plant around 1:30 in the morning. This happened in April of 2026 on a Thursday in Berkeley County, West Virginia. Okay? It was seen from railroad quarter mile from the redacted plant. This is Brandon's girlfriend reporting this incident.
Brandon, you better be a reliable source, my man. If you're lying, if you're
Leading me and Matthew Moneymaker down a wild goose chase about this security camera, I'm gonna be
quite upset. And enough where I'm gonna lean back away from the microphone and it's gonna get quieter. I need to be careful about that.
2 employees moving railroad cars on a track in Inwood, West Virginia. They came to a stop quarter mile from the plant, looked off in the distance at a building that had a light source. Today, 1:30 a.m., 4/9/26. They both saw tall, approximately 8-foot tall walking creature, about a football field away distance. They both looked at each other and said, "What the hell was that?" They didn't go look for anything. They was working on the clock. Also noticed long strides, tall, wide, blacker than black. He said it was huge, absolutely no bear or person. Yes, 2 people saw it, my boyfriend and coworker. And Another story is, yes, I know a guy who says he's seen a Bigfoot while hunting in Sleepy Creek State Forest. He swears to it, but everyone laughs at him.
Poor bastard. I believe you, bro.
1:30 a.m., cold in the 30s, moon was low and orange in color.
And here is our follow-up from you already know who.
I spoke with the witness, Brandon Bem. He is credible.
Okay, there we go again.
There were 2 witnesses. The first name of the other witness is Sean. They are both employees of the redacted plant. They were both working third shift, graveyard shift, moving railroad cars on the tracks behind the plant when they saw the huge dark figure walk under the illumination of a light on the corner of the building 400 feet away, a warehouse building for a company. The dark, hairy figure was so big, around 8 feet tall and burly, that it scared the daylights out of both witnesses even at 400 feet distance. The upshot of this location, Google Maps and Google Earth shows security cameras on the corner of that warehouse. There is a security camera on the specific corner of the building that the figure walked near. If you look for the warehouse at this location, please ask the security staff to review footage from that corner of the external warehouse between 1 and 2 a.m. on that day. They may have seen something truly remarkable. The creature walked right through an illuminated area below the security camera. The warehouse is a new building, which means the camera new and likely high-resolution color. The company probably retained security footage for several days, but not forever, so it is imperative to check the footage soon.
Matt, you do it, bro. You can call him. You're Matt Moneymaker, bro. I can't reach out to them and be like, hey, could I have your security footage? You can, though. They might be like, wait, we're going to be on BFRO.com, bro? Here's the footage.
And that was there was no further update about this. This was like now a little over a month ago.
Oh, and excuse me, it's BFRO.net.
That was ignorant of me. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna maybe look for one more Bigfoot, but I can't have this moneymaker bullshit.
Wait, what? What is this? Investigator Charlie Raymond. Okay, that's at least someone else. What is this? Okay, I hate when they pull up the fucking chat. Wait, no, it's from Matt Moneymaker. Of course, Matt Moneymaker had to add the fucking chat GPT. Oh my god, bro. Leave it alone. This guy had it knocked down. See how much he wrote? You did not need to add a note from Matty Moneymaker. For sake's sake, bro. And just look at this video.
I saw 7 Bigfoots in northern.
Okay, this is fucking sick. Everybody go watch this video. Damn, this one's in depth, dude. Okay. I found one more Bigfoot one.
This one looks pretty cool and in-depth, and it talks a lot about the area, so... And then that'll probably be it for Bigfoot for a while, because I love this website, but a lot of these are just repetitive, and I probably won't put Bigfoot at the beginning of the episode this time, even though I'm recording it first, actually.
My Black Ops Zombies 3 is done.
A little too late. Okay, this is too good to read. Alright, this will be the final Bigfoot one for a while. Okay, maybe I'll read some more in the next episode, but... I want to pivot. Okay, I feel a little stuck and glued in the Bigfoot. So this will be the final one. I think this is a nice good one to wrap it off. This will probably be the end of this episode, so thank you for listening this far. And
I've got a real treat for you, where
2 witnesses independently report the same 1987 road crossing of a Bigfoot 5 miles north of Penn State University. Let's do it. About 38 years ago, in 1987, late September or early October...
Fuck. Start over.
About 38 years ago, in 1987, late September or early October, at around 10:30 or 11 p.m., I was riding in a car with a friend, at the time on Barnes Lane in Central County, PA, not far from the Fish Hatchery on Spring Creek Road. I can't recall the name of the guy I was with. I believe his car was about a 1979 Dodge Aspen 2-door, silver with a red interior if memory serves me correctly. We were just out for a late-night cruise, killing time and listening to music.
Sounds like a total vibe, my man.
We were heading from Spring Creek Road towards Rock Road on what was then just a mostly dirt road that wasn't traveled much. We weren't going fast, just riding around. We came up the hill from Spring Creek Road and we got up on the level part of the road, which, with what was farm fields on our right side and what I believe was state prison ground on our left, Rockview Prison, and also state game lands 333, I think some of it is. It was not a populated area as it is today, although still rural considering it's right behind Bellefonte, PA, and State College, PA. There was an old apple orchard on the property to our left that had been part of the prison grounds in this vicinity. There was no traffic, no houses to speak of on this road compared to what there is today, November 2025, when this was uploaded. I was looking out the passenger window on... Wait, what? I was looking out the passenger side window at the lights of the houses that I could make out.
I need to make this up. It's actually kind of hard to read this. I need to make it bigger. Sorry.
I was looking out the passenger side window at the lights of the houses that I could make out up on top of the ridge on the Seabird Road when the guy driving slammed on the brakes and said,
Yo, what the fuck is that?
I looked out the windshield to see an enormous creature stepping out of the brush from the right side of the road right in front of us. It was huge. I remember feeling like I was looking up at it more than directly at it. Its arms and chest were just huge. It had a face kind of like something between a gorilla and a man. It looked right at us and stepped out in front of us 40 feet at most.
It's gotta mean 40 feet in front of us, not 40 feet tall, right?
I remember saying, "What the hell is that?" It immediately took a couple of strides and covered the distance of the road and onto the grass berm and just stepped right over a barbed wire fence like it was nothing. Like the whole thing happened so damn fast we couldn't process what the heck we saw. It was huge, broad chest, massive legs, hairy like darkish brownish colored, but its face seemed kind of grayish. It was making strides. I remember seeing that its left leg was planted and the right was leading its stride when my eyes caught the thing. It was just there, and then it wasn't. It was moving fast but not running. It was upright on 2 feet. It was absolutely not a bear or deer, as it must have been over 7 feet tall. Its chest was so high up, it was kinda out of the direct beams of the headlights on the car. The arms and shoulders were just massive. The chest was broad and thick, way bigger than any man I've ever seen. Its eyes seemed open, like it was startled, but immediately looked like it was pissed that we had interrupted it. We didn't go back or look back. We just got back to town rapidly. I have no direct knowledge of anything else like this happening, other than the reports I have seen listed by BFRO. The most recent sighting that occurred on Route 80 near to this place, this is what prompted me to come forward. Specifically after reading that report of what I saw in the same area.
Interesting. Okay. So now Benjamin C. has a follow-up report here, and there's this other report. Let's just go. Gosh, the Squatch comes to me, bro. I can't even escape the Squatch anymore. The fucking Squatch comes to me. This is such a long report. Oh, but it looks good.
Daylight sighting 20 miles north of Penn State, Sasquatch crossing I-80. Okay. It began moving to the left towards the car in front of me. I immediately thought, what the hell is he doing? He's going to get hit. I thought it was a person at first because it was moving in an upright position and on 2 legs. It crossed in front of the car, but I could still see some portion of the head above the car. It was a Subaru. I thought for sure there was going to be an impact, but it continued past towards the guardrail. At that point, I had a more clear visual on it. It was completely dark, all the same color from head to toe. There wasn't anything that stood out as different in appearance. It had a more slender, slim build, and I wanted to say, I think, long arms that were not held upwards as it moved.
So, there's a real Sasquatch in Penn State University. If anyone's listening to this from Penn State, live in fear. Sleep with one eye open, because this is just real. There's no way, it's real. There's no way around it. This is where it happened, right here. So if you see this on your daily commute, I don't know what to tell you, bud. It's not looking good. You're going to be flocking to the BFRO website in a matter of days with a report of your own.
Inputting this data in the ChatGPT.
Stop doing that, guy. Okay.
A serious critique of the Bigfoot community here. We don't need ChatGPT. ChatGPT can't even fucking go outside. Okay, you can. You are a way better reference for Bigfoot truths than a fucking, large language model. Okay, just wanted to, I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. It was funny the first time when Matt Moneymaker used Grok to fucking put a Bigfoot in a bikini, but I'm over it now. I'm not reading that.
So, going back to our original report of the guy from the late 80s, this is Benjamin C.'s follow-up. This report was of great interest to me. Shortly after the publication of the I-80 road crossing report in late October 25, the BFRO received 2 separate reports within a week of each other. The reports came from two individuals, each describing very similar road crossings, with both sightings occurring approximately 40 years ago. Having initially taken the first report received by the first witness, John, I, the investigator, was surprised to read that a similar sounding report from another individual named Wayne from the same time period. John, the first report, had mentioned that he was with the other individual at the time, but could not for the life of him remember the other individual's name. The second report submitted by Wayne also echoed the same failure of being unable to remember the name of the other individual in the vehicle at the time of the sighting.
Maybe they were lovers, Bo. Maybe they just didn't. Bo, that was a little Freudian slip. I wish that Bobo would do a...
Curious at the similarities in the reports and the possibility of the witnesses in the second report being the same unknown individual mentioned in the first report, I reached out to the second witness, Wayne, and heard his account. As I received the details and asked clarification questions, to my great surprise, Wayne was in fact the other individual in the vehicle with John that night 40 years ago. After speaking at length with both individuals, confirming details from both witnesses separately about the event, I determined that both individuals were very credible and sincere in their reporting and memory of the event. With their permission, I shared their contact information with each other and enabled the two witnesses to meet in person and reconnect after 40 years of separation. That is so sweet. Benjamin, what?
That is... All the Bigfoot shit aside, that's very... What a heartwarming way for old friends to reconnect through the BFRO website. Everyone watching this video, go on this website right now. It's the best website on the whole internet. Look at this detailed reporting here.
The time of the sighting was in the late evening after sundown. The witnesses remember it was dark but do not recall the exact time, although John estimates the time to have been between 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. Humidity, dew point, and barometric pressure are unknown for that time, as the exact date is unknown, but the sighting is estimated to have occurred in early October, as the witnesses remember it being cool enough outside to warrant driving with the windows up. At the time of the sighting, in 1985, the location of the sighting was more rural than today, with fewer residential houses in the area than there are now. According to the Multi-Resolution Land Characteristics National Land Cover Database Enhanced Visualization Analysis EVA tool...
That sounds fucking cool. Hold on. This is just, you can just do that? Wait, what? No fucking way! That's so cool. Wow, dude. This is sick. What does this mean?
Percentage of area that is developed. Forest area that is still there. Damn, dude, this is cool. It's bugging out trying to load. Wetlands, agriculture. Damn, this is cool. Okay, yeah, my computer's having a very hard time loading this. Look at that area, dude, the steel plant and the farmland. This is fucking rad, man. I'm glad to discover this website. I don't know what this could be useful for, but I'm sure it could be useful for something.
Thank you, Benjamin.
A free tool... Oh, and he describes it here, a free tool which allows users to compare and contrast forest and other terrain cover over the years. Surprisingly, very little has changed in terms of forest cover in Central County, but with the county losing 2.74% of forest cover in the past 40 years, mostly due to residential and commercial development. The area of the sighting itself is remarkably unchanged, with minimal change in forest cover, save for those patches that were cleared to make room for home construction. Prior to the sighting, Wayne and John were hanging out with some other friends in the parking lot of a local Danks department store, a local Pennsylvania store chain now long out of business.
Yeah, I want to go to Danks, bro.
On the evening of the sighting, growing bored at the slow pace of the night, the witnesses decided to go driving around a bit just for something to do. They jumped in Wayne's vehicle, a 79 Dodge Aspen, and drove north out of town to the Spring Creek Road and then up Rock Road towards the State College Airport. Seeing a single-lane dirt road on the right, that is now Barnes Lane, on a whim, they turned and drove northeast. They drove for about 5 minutes. In the words of the witness, we weren't going very fast before hitting a point in the road where the...
Okay, we know this. They said, what the fuck is that?
In front of the witnesses, we saw a huge bipedal hairy figure step out of the brush. John distinctly remembers looking up at the creature through the windshield as opposed to looking directly at it, which indicates how large it was. The witnesses saw the figure took 1, maybe 2 steps across the road. Wayne does not remember the details of the creature. Way bigger than any man I've ever seen. I know I'm skimming, but we've read all this already. The creature was described by the witness as being hairy, with John remembering its coloration as dark brown, while Wayne recalls it appearing grayish.
I mean, it was at night under headlights.
However, Wayne...
I'm starting to believe this.
However, Wayne does acknowledge that the headlights could have played a part in making the creature appear lighter than actuality.
See, I could be a Bigfoot investigator. I called that before.
But he distinctly remembers the headlights causing it to stand out against the dark background of the front of the road. Did they not hear or smell anything during the encounter? They didn't say anything. Neither witness knew much about Bigfoot back then. They had heard of them, but only through the Patterson film and its surrounding controversies. Wayne said he was very skeptical about the creature, but after the encounter had difficulty reconciling the sighting with his pre-existing views.
How's that for something to chew on? This is just some more info about the forest. Okay. Oh, that's enough Bigfoot. Okay, that's enough Bigfoot for one episode at least. Maybe I'll come back to this absolutely gift from God of a website, but not today.